Oh my. Oh my.
You are now tuned in to the Revolution Radio Show.
Hey, you know what it is and what it do. You are officially tuned into the Revolution Radio Show, aka the Revolution Podcast. As always, I am your boy J Love, and I'm always joined by the more talented and more beautiful co-host of mine, Miss Cherie Marlene.
Hey everybody, happy Friday.
And Miss Melian.
Woo woo! What's up, Jay? What's up, Cherie? What's up to all the listeners?
Yeah, it's Friday.
Hey.
It's Friday. You know what I mean? It's Friday the 24th. It's still Black History Month. You know, I got to hit you with them facts every single time because y'all need to know the history. You need to know the fingerprint is everywhere. You know what I mean? The black people was always looking out for you, even when you wasn't looking out for us. So check this out. Do any of you have a home security system? You got a home security system, Cherie?
I'm not gonna put my business out there. Yes, I do.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm
Yes,
saying.
I
I mean,
do.
that's not a bad thing. People should know you got a home security system.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you do have a home
Mhm.
security system, you need to thank Miss Marie Van Brittan Brown, because it is her who devised all the plans for the first security system that included peepholes, cameras, a bunch of other stuff. So shout out to Marie Van Brittan Brown for developing, inventing, and implementing the very first home security system. See, black folks was looking out for y'all, even when y'all didn't. You know what I mean? That's a beautiful. So shout out. That's our Black History salute right there. You know what I mean? But it's today we about to get in it. We spilling the tea on everybody. We spilling the tea because there's so much stuff that's been in the news lately. We've had some great guests all this week. I've had a lot of fun, but you know, sometimes we gotta talk about what's good, like what's going on. What's going on, right? So I'm gonna go down the line and let me know what you guys think about this situation. But I'll start with my boy. I don't know if he's my boy, but I don't know. I disowned him a long time ago. But Tiger Woods, y'all seen he got in that accident, right?
No.
It was a pretty bad accident. Yeah.
They had to
What
take him out
happened?
with the jaws of life. They had to take him out with the jaws of life, and they're not. From what I understand, the cops aren't pressing charges, so which means he wasn't drunk. Because I'm assuming if he was, they would, there would be like some kind of charges or whatever. But like apparently he went off the road and the car flipped a couple. Like it was crazy. Like Tiger, but it's like I feel like it doesn't like again. Because remember when his wife caught him. Remember he went into a tree. He ran into a tree when he was married, and you don't remember?
No.
I don't remember that one.
Yeah. Okay. So when he was with his wife, the reason him and his wife, because she found out, he had the other girl, and she went after him with a golf club, and he ran into a tree.
So is this okay? So he ran off the road. So was anybody else involved? It was just him?
No. Just So he's good.
And
I mean,
he's good as far as what? Is anything broken? Did they say in the report or what you read?
From what I read, and and to be honest with my ADD, I didn't read the whole thing, but I just read that he was good. He's not really, wasn't hurt bad. He's, so I was like, okay, Tiger Woods.
He's not hurt bad.
No, not this. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna look at it. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Let's confirm that. We're gonna find out he in a coma or something. And
he was recovering from his girlfriend went and visited him because he was in the hospital for a minute. But it says that UCLA Medical Center. They were both masked up heading. Let me see, Tiger. It doesn't say anything about him having any serious injuries. Like the
jaws of life had to, and he's.
Hold on, no, hold on. This is me being a good reporter.
Okay.
He suffered some open fractures in 2 different bones, meaning they tore through the skin. Right. His ankle was shattered as well. And all in all, he required a rod, screws, and pins, and extensive orthopedic surgery from trauma. But he gonna be all right. You know what I mean?
Jay, man, you made it sound like he came out with no scratch. Jay, come on.
Dudes who skateboard have been hurt worse than that.
No, when
pretty
Jayla
vicious.
says he writes someone off a long time ago, he means it. He was fine, you guys. He was
Look, as soon as he
Jay,
did the
you
whole
made it.
Kaplan Asian, as soon as he did the whole Kaplan Asian thing, and he was like, "Well, you know what I mean?" And
What
you
do you
know,
do? What do you do?
okay,
Oh,
'cause
now
when-
Melian wants to hear because you said
Yeah,
the key
'cause
word
I put-
there.
okay.
You see how he
No,
got you
'cause
on
here's
your...
the-
Go ahead.
No, because here's what happened. Because growing up, he was the first, like, not the first, because there was someone else before him, but I'm not into golf, so I don't know the guy's name. But he was like the first major black golf superstar, right? Everyone can agree to that.
Mhm.
So growing up, it was a big deal. And I remember I saw interviews of him when he was a kid, like when he was in high school, and he would say like he would go to different country clubs and people would treat him different because he was black. And, you know, his daddy was really black. And so, you know, and his mom was Asian. And I think his mom was Asian and white. And so, but all of a sudden, when he started getting endorsements like Nike and all these other big endorsements, he went from being a black golfer to like, well, I'm not really, you know, I'm not all the way black. And then he made up the term Kaplan Asian. He was like, I'm Caucasian, black and Asian, Kaplan Asian.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So, which I'm like, yo,
I mean, he could rep his. He could rep his Asian side. I was proud that he was part Asian. Like, I didn't know he was part white.
That's good. But like, it was really more about getting away from, like, it wasn't even like him repping the Asian side. He just wanted to get away from like being identified as being black. You know what I mean? Because his whole circle.
Random fact, I went to the same middle school as him. So
really?
out in OC. Yeah. Oh, you know, they had pictures of him in the home.
Shout out to the famous Asians. See, I'm gonna call them Asian now. The famous Asians. Shout out to all of them.
But shout out to Tiger Woods though. We glad you're good. We glad you're okay.
Yes.
Glad that you got injuries the skateboarders get, and that you'll be all right in the big scheme of things. You telling me skateboarders ain't have the skin, the bone pop through the skin? I didn't see some crazy stuff on YouTube.
But if he was all the way black, he would be hurt.
Man,
he's
sensitive. We
Jay would be like, let's pray. Jay would be like, let's pray for him right now.
Right. Let's get all the listeners to bow their head and say a prayer.
Hey,
we're gonna pray
a little one-sided.
So, speaking of people in altercations, you know what I mean. I'm gonna go ahead and transition out of that one before I get myself in trouble.
Right.
But you know, Bruce Springsteen. Some would say the songbird of a generation. Some would say an amazing American, right? He had one of the greatest anthems, I guess, as far as, you know, for people who are patriotic. Some of you young folk don't know, but he did have a song called Born in the USA. I was born in the USA. You know what I mean? So you'll be a bona fide rock star, sold over 100 million records worldwide. Recently was pulled over and ultimately pleaded guilty for DUI. So I guess the reason I bring that up is the question is, should this in any way tarnish his legacy, his image, or is it just we're humans, we make mistakes, give him a pass? What do y'all think? Because a lot of people are really coming down on him because to a great degree, he's kind of like for a lot of people, he is a role model. And they feel like this kind of tarnished his image, that like, especially having that much money, like there's no reason for you to ever drive drunk. Like you should have a driver or something of that. Or, you know, there's Uber nowadays and Lyft. And like, do you give him a pass or because no, you're grown enough and rich enough that you should know better and there's no excuse? What do y'all think?
I mean, I really don't. When you say give him a pass versus what? Is something not like, how is he being criticized? Like, what does one or the other mean?
Because that's what I mean. Because people are saying like he has enough money to have a driver on payroll 24 hours a day. So there's no excuse for him. Like, because I guess they dropped the charges of reckless driving. They dropped those, but he's pled guilty to actually drinking and driving. So people are upset. Like, dude, with Uber, Lyft, taxis, you being rich, there's no reason you should ever be behind the wheel being drunk. Like, so people are pissed, like there's no excuse for it. Or is it just we make
I see,
that's what I'm saying, give him a pass.
No, I would say the first.
No one was injured though, right? Or
no one was injured.
But see, that's also irrelevant, right?
Right.
that should be an irrelevant statement because
I mean, it's irrelevant, but I mean, it not really. I think it is like it to the point that like it would mean more. I mean, not mean more, but I think it'd be deeper if he killed somebody. I think it's not even a question, right?
If he killed somebody, he'd be in jail. But what I'm saying is like it is if it's like, okay, kids, don't drink and drive unless you can do it.
But what Jay was saying, he's human. So like,
right, so then your vote is he's human. So let him have a free
Jay
pass.
was like, no,
wait, what do you mean? Jay was like, I'm asking questions. I'm
no. Your second question was, would he get it? What does it erase basically of who he, everything he's accomplished and what no, he's human. Like he made a mistake. It's not an excuse. Like that was cool for him to do. I'm definitely against drinking and driving. So. To me, it's not like really a black and white. I feel like it's like kind of both. Like, no, it's not an excuse, but he's human. He made a mistake.
That's true.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, go ahead.
I do think that he's bruised his image of being an influence,
like really
right?
Wholesome.
A person to look
like
up to.
Of course, All-American apple pie.
Of course,
as mistakes cause us to do, right?
Exactly, of course. As anyone, his life is in the limelight. So I've made mistakes. I'm pretty sure people amplified it, but like, oh my gosh, but
sure.
we're human.
Really? What mistakes did you make, Melly?
We're not gonna go on live right now. If you want to, I'll let I'll let TMZ find out. Yeah.
All you have to do is flip it on him. Let's talk about yours first. Can we get through the whole show?
We don't got time to talk about my mistakes. We ain't got that kind of time. That's like a whole week worth of shows. But so I just feel like on one hand, Duke, I mean, at some point, come on, you got the money, get a driver.
Get an Uber driver.
You knew when you went out, you was gonna get faded. You know what I mean? So, and even if you didn't know, you have more than enough resources to have somebody come get you. So but should it tarnish his legacy? Nah, I don't think it should tarnish his, especially because it's not like this is like the 10th time or, you know what I mean? Like this is not like a pattern.
It kind of reminds me of, I don't want to bring it up because I am a big fan, but Chris Brown, when he hit Rihanna, which is not, there's no real excuse or real reason why you can do that. But it's like, should it tarnish your reputation, all your sponsorships and everything?
A little bit, yes.
Well, okay, but there's a difference between the DUI and
for sure, yeah.
But again, to go with life isn't just black and white. So let me go do the Chris Brown thing. I will say this. They were young, right? Both him and so I know a little bit of the legit backstory. I know some people involved in his circle. And so they had one of those relationships where that was like not just him, like both of them. Like, because I don't believe a woman should put hands on a man either, right? Like I think it works both ways. And so both of them were known to do that in closed, like in their, you know what I mean? And so they were, they were both young.
So they both just had a very violent relationship, is what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, they had, I mean, just to be honest with you. And so I think that they both, first of all, let me be very clear. A man should never put hands on a woman. But again, a woman should never put hands on a man. And so so you have to factor in that they were young, they were immature. We've talked about before coming into money, coming into fame, what that does to you, what it does to your circle, all of those things. Now, with something like domestic violence, the reason why that is so much more so because it did affect like physically someone's health other than him. Like it would have been different if he punched himself, I guess, you know what I mean? And so if you own a business, right? So because it is the business of entertainment, you would have to think like, do you want to put your name on that brand at that moment? Like, we go ahead and back up over Chris. Like he could sing and dance, but we're gonna go ahead and back up over Chris.
It also looks like you promote that, or like you're okay with that, like you condone it, right?
Yeah, exactly. But they were like people that were like, that's God. That's like Chris Brown is like a god. Like no, whatever, he can't do anything wrong. Then there were people like no, like we're gonna ban him. We're never gonna listen to him again. Because of his his mistake. So
I think extremes, more often than not, extremes on any side of thing usually isn't healthy. Yeah, for some things, like you have to like draw a line in the sand and be like absolute. Like for example, the football player who like beat the hell out of his girlfriend. Like, no, dude, you're done. Like that's a wrap. Because if you know what I mean, like when it's something that severe, like that's something you do regularly. That's you know what I mean.
What about the one we saw in the elevator? Didn't you bring that up where they videoed it in the elevator? That one was intense. It's one thing to hear about it, and it's another thing to actually see.
Wait, which one? Which elevator one?
I don't know the name.
This was about. Yeah, I don't want to put him out there, but
you're not talking about the Jay-Z and the Solange.
No, that Solange when she went off. That was abuse too. See what I'm saying? Like a woman should never, and Jay-Z handled that one really well.
I don't know if you your sisters, No, in
the same way that a man shouldn't put his hands on a woman should not put her hands. Jay-Z handled that one correctly. He handled it better than most would because he just stood there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? He didn't even push her. He didn't. Jay-Z, he just took it like, yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And speaking of volatile relationships, this thing with Dr. Dre and his wife is getting crazier, or I should say, his estranged wife. Right?
How long were they married? How long? Like 20 plus.
It was something crazy, like 17 to 22 years, somewhere in that. We're gonna give it a range.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It was a minute, but. Here's the crazy part. She recently filed in court because like she's trying to get the judge to throw out the seat. So this is what I really want to ask y'all this. She's trying to get the judge to throw out the prenup because according to her, she signed the prenup before they got married, right? Which is typically what you do, right? But then according to her, she claims that Dre came up to her afterwards, like really apologetic, like, I'm so sorry, I love you, I shouldn't have made you do that, I regret pressuring you, and that he tore up multiple copies right in front of her. Dre obviously denies that ever happened, but okay, here's my take on it, and I'm gonna ask y'all as women what you feel, right? But at the end of the day, she signed the prenup. It is a legal and binding agreement. Whether you like it or not, whether you think it's greedy or not, whatever, she was an adult when she signed it, and she signed it. So I don't think that any judge should have the right to overturn because she claims she has no proof. It's just her word against his. She has no proof that he did any of this or ripped it up.
Did he rip up the original?
See, but again, that's the whole point is that there is a signed prenup. Now for argument's sake, let's pretend he did rip it up several times, right? She obviously signed the one that he has. So it's still signed. So it doesn't matter.
I'm saying, did he rip the original, the one he has? Did he rip it?
According to her, yes. But again, if there is a version, even if it's not the original.
Unless he rewrites it or something like that.
Realistically, even if she has it in pieces, who's to say he ripped it, right? So she has to actually have
or he could print out another
type of proof, right? Exactly. No, I agree with you.
Yeah. I just think
what's fair is fair.
In most cases, because she's already going to be a ridiculously wealthy woman just because she married Dr. Dre, right?
Right.
In most cases, not all, right? But in most cases, when it comes to divorce and there's money involved, typically the women get the better end of the deal, right?
Okay.
Because I have my own theories on that, but I'm gonna keep it to myself for right now.
I don't think that's always the case, though.
No, not always, but in most cases, the courts lean towards, like, for example, just because you got accustomed to, a certain lifestyle, I got to give you that. I got accustomed to cuddling on Thursdays. You gonna come over every Thursday and cuddle?
In my personal experience, I'm even speaking about myself, though, right now, like I know more women that are still paying spousal support to their husbands than the other way around.
Are you serious?
I know. I promise you. I know one woman that actually lives in the Inland Empire area that I will not put her name out there. She helped her husband get through school. I mean, he got a great job. And then through divorce, she's having to pay him for X amount of years a ridiculous amount of money, and it's taking away from her and their 3 children. Granted, they share custody, so there's that. But I'm not talking child. But I'm not talking about child support. I'm saying spousal support. And he's
shout out to whoever you are. Shout out to you, homie.
So then, see, why are you on his side?
No, not shout out to you.
No, that's my point. That goes to the whole one-sided thing that J Love is. But when you get what I'm saying, like that in my world. So in your world, you see the opposite. In my world, the girls and females that I know, it's the opposite.
But she signed the paper. She signed.
Okay, that is different. But your whole point was it's more favored on one side, and I'm here to tell you not.
Yeah, I don't know who you know, but you, man,
independent, strong women that clearly picked the wrong men.
Man, that's so. Are you guys against prenups? Like, Jay, did you sign a prenup? If you don't mind.
No. I'm not. No, we because we was young when we met. But like either way, like I'm not against prenups. I think that here's the realities of it. Okay. Again, we were kind of talking to me, and this is another episode that we're gonna have later. But sure, Melian and I were talking about privilege in America right now. Americans, I was saying how Americans are very privileged and we're entitled, right? And so we've bought into this westernized version of being in love and the romanticism of just, oh my God, I love you. So, and all of that is wonderful. And, but the realities are that upwards, more than 50% of marriages end in divorce, right? This is a reality, right?
It might even be higher. It might even be higher now.
You think it's higher now?
I think it's closer to 60.
Sad.
But here's the crazy statistic. I will say this, shout out to marriage for this. During the pandemic, more people have decided to stay together. So, hey, shout out to the pandemic.
I gotta check different sources.
No, during the pandemic, more people have decided to stay together. So shout out to the pandemic for saving marriages.
So where are we? But is that true? Because I've literally heard that people have never spent so much time with their spouse, so this caused them to fight, split up, break up.
I actually saw more divorce rates. Yeah, I saw more divorce rates because of the pandemic.
We gonna do some research.
We need to find the truth, right?
Because I'm saying I saw
Jay
that,
over here. Nah, Jay, before you claim Tiger Woods.
I'm gonna go to Google right now. Divorce rate.
Google it. Tell the people.
Divorce
2020
rate during coronavirus.
And don't be clicking no bougie website too. Make sure it's a reliable source.
See, divorces tumble. Hold on, why tumble? Yeah. Divorces watch. Hold on. Here's a study that says divorce. Hold on. That's the wrong one. I'm not reading that one. Impact of divorce rates. Let's see. Let me see if you guys are right. All relationships, the conflict, some couples paying the relationship counselors constantly supports. Okay, so with couples stuck in the house, homeschooling children, and facing added financial uncertainty, it should come as no surprise that the coronavirus pandemic is placing additional strain on relationships. Mm-hmm. Additionally, support systems have become more difficult, venting to friends over coffee or spending a night out on the town. So if you've been using these outlets to manage stress, it's not available for you. So
go down, Jay. It says by April, I'm on the same page. But I'm on the same page as you. It says by April, the interest and divorce rates had already increased by 34%.
Okay, I read the wrong thing. My bad. Okay, my bad. All right, so whatever. I was gonna shout out Corona, but never mind.
See, that's why he has us on here. We're his fact checkers. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll give you the truth.
Back to my point. I think that there's I believe whether male or female, if you have built something for yourself, especially if there's children involved, it is a responsibility for you to protect that. Because in the event that, God forbid, it doesn't work out, this thing that you've built doesn't go to somebody just because they laid up with you. You know what I mean? Because let's be real, like, especially California, for example, is a community property state, which means immediately is half. Just boom. That's what it is. Yeah. Right. So regardless of who's at fault. So, you know what I mean? If you went and to use Cherie's example, you are a strong woman and you built the situation, so a dude, just because he came and got with you, shouldn't get half just because he was with you. You know what I mean? Like, so I believe, like, yes, we all want to believe that it's going to work forever and we're just going to love each other for 100 years. And then even after we die for eternity, even though, you know, the contract say till death do us part. That's the contract. You fulfilled it. If you die, then that's what's up. So
you gonna move to somebody else.
I think this is such a tough, tough yes or no, because should then one be offended, right? Like, if you're so in love and you're promising to love each other, is the other supposed to be offended? I think it's very
because
tricky.
I don't know if you're gonna love me in 20 years. You still gonna love me in 25, 28, 32?
Mm-hmm.
I
can see both ways. I can see, because then I'm like, are you manifesting a divorce? Like, now you're manifesting a divorce. Now you think we're about to kind of in a way, but I also can see the business side of it, like just making sure, like you said, even with kids
marriage
involved,
is a business. People forget this. It's a business. It's a tax shelter. It's a lot of things. Yes, you should have love as a basis, but you should. That's why even like little things, like you should know if someone's in debt before you get married to them. Just saying.
Oh, completely. Okay, thank you. I agree. So
I'm just saying, if we're gonna be real,
in your case, James, how you said you got married so young, like at that point, you guys are both just starting out. Then I feel like a prenup is not even something you would think about, right? No. I didn't have a prenup the first time around either.
If both people ain't got nothing, you're gonna split.
I have 2 children now. I own a home. I have assets, right? Like, so I agree. And that's what's hard too, right? Just new in a relationship. And my thing is like, I feel I'm entitled to ask everything because I'm willing to show stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, I need to see credit score. I need to see. And I know that sounds like, I feel like I'm just protecting myself. So
no, absolutely, because
what are your thoughts on that?
You can't go in blind. That's the problem, is people get all romantic or whatever and they're going blind. Like, you need to know, like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't know you were $280,000 in debt and you pay your baby mama, you know, $3,000 a month, because now that means I pay your baby mama $3,000 a month. You know what I mean? Like,
do you see why things get so complicated?
Because it's a partnership. It's a partnership, and you have to look at it that way, which means you have to be sober minded. And you have to look at it like, you know, like you would any other partnership or business, right? Like, you wouldn't go into business with somebody, right, just because you liked them. And if they were like, yo, just so you know, before we do this business, I'm in debt like $300,000, and I got this other bill we got to pay. We got to pay every month.
Let me ask you this: when is it a proper time for that question to be presented? Because if somebody's saying they want to have a life with you, do you feel like it should happen right before, like, wait till that person proposes? Like, is it rude to ask up front? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think I don't know. I don't think there's a specific time for each, you know, for a blanket statement, but I think at some place because, you know, at some point you start talking about it, right? Like you start like, hey, you know, little things like whether it's like we would have pretty kids or, you know, whatever, you start having
how
those
do you feel about a prenup? Like what yes, just kind of nonchalantly.
Absolutely. You need to, because just like you need to ask, how do you feel about kids or more kids, right? Like, these are questions.
How do you feel about God? Like, what are your spiritual?
Yes.
Oh, that's number one. That's at hello.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
You know, what is your credit like? You know what I mean? Do you believe in do you believe in having a bank account? Like, I'm just saying, like,
snore. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, you need to ask these questions. You need to ask these questions, because if not, you can't be mad later when you're like, wait, so you actually have 3 baby moms? I thought it was just one. Well, no, you just met one, but I actually got 3. Like, you know what I mean? You can't be mad later if you didn't, you know what I mean?
Do your research, yeah.
Yeah, you got like,
you see why dating is so hard.
This is not a new car. You know what I'm saying? It's not you know what I mean? It's not a new pair of shoes. This is someone that will be attached to your life in one way or another for the rest of your life, right? Even after you get rid of them, there's still some kind of leftover residual, whatever. And so you have to be, that's what I'm saying. All that stuff, like, look, I love being in love and love songs, and you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, like, oh my, look at you, and all that cute and wearing matching outfits. I'm with all of that.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if anything life has taught me is that, you know what, and I've said this before, I've been head over heels crazy and I've been like, if I have to see your face one more time, I swear to God, I'm gonna commit. Like I've been in counseling in the counselor's office saying, yo, I'm done.
But that's
this
real.
is over. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So life has taught me that, you know, and whether, you know what I mean, like anyone in a real relationship will tell you there will be days that you love the person and there will be days and not so much. Not that, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so if you're honest about that up front, you can have an adult conversation, which we should be, especially if this is the person you plan on spending your life with, and have an adult and say, hey, how do you feel about this? Because I'm just going to be honest with you. I think we're good, but you know what? One of my best friends, I thought they were the greatest couple in the world and it didn't work. So it's nothing again. Like, it's not that I don't love you, that I don't believe in you, that I don't believe in us. But you know, and because here's the truth. If I love you enough, whatever, I'll sign a prenup. It ain't no big deal. Like, because if I love you, I'm not in it for what you got. I'm in it for you. So,
and just to clarify, I'm sorry, a prenup is everything you had prior to, right? So everything you build together from that point forward is split, right? Correct. So I don't see a problem with that then at all.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think anyone should unless their motive is wrong.
Yeah.
So which goes back to my point. This heifer should not be able to break the prenup. Shout out to Dr. Dre. Shout out to Andre Young.
This is kind of off topic, but it's still kind of on topic. It was on Clubhouse, I believe. I think Game was saying that, or someone had said that all men cheat, just accept it. The sooner you accept it.
I'm with Charlamagne the guy, black men don't cheat. So I'm gonna take that to my grave. Me and Charlamagne, black men don't cheat.
Oh man.
The movement was already started. It's
you know what effect. Though? I actually have heard that before, that one of my friends said, no, that in every relationship, like you just have to accept it and one has to forgive the other. And that's generally when they actually become even stronger. It's like a turning point in their marriage, and then it may not happen again, but at some point in the relationship, someone does cheat. I've literally heard that so many times, and that makes me, that discourages me. Yeah, it discourages me.
I think that's a very cynical view. Again, it goes back to putting a broad brush on everything. Like that's like saying all women are this, like all women are gold diggers.
Mm-hmm. But the person didn't say that it's all the man or it's all the woman. They just said at some point it happens, and it's the couple to figure out if they're strong enough to get through it.
That's saying all relationships.
Yeah.
So I think it's a better thing to say that instead of saying that, saying, you know what, you can get through it if it does happen. You don't have to, but you can get through it if it does happen. Right?
It's just like, why can't people just be happy?
Crazy. Like if people like
just not be in a relationship.
Like, it's crazy to me to know that like Beyonce could get cheated on, or Halle Berry can get cheated on, or
it goes to show you it doesn't matter.
It don't matter. You could be the flyest.
No,
and it's usually with somebody less attractive. That's
because it's not here. Part. Okay, so ladies, let me just share something with you.
Please do.
In general, and this is just a wisdom speaking, not
J-Lo.
Yes. But in general, when it comes to men cheating, men cheat out of convenience, not out of, you know what I mean? Like typically, if you notice the pattern,
that's a blanket statement too. That's a blanket.
No, but I want to. But like, explain what you mean by convenience. Like, what is?
Okay, so what I'm saying is when you say like it's usually the girl that's not as amazing as the significant other, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at
has
the pattern.
Nothing to do with it.
Again, look at the pattern. And we're talking general, right? Because there's exceptions to every rule, and not everybody's saying. But in general, generally speaking, it is the assistant, the secretary, the best friend that's always around. It's a sin of convenience. Like it's not like the hottest chick on the planet. It's the one that was available, right? Because men and women function differently. For men, it was the availability, right?
But that availability could have caused an attraction. So it's not just out of convenience. Like there could be some kind of attraction like that. No,
yeah,
I think
that's what I'm saying. Convenience, because they're around. Like, okay.
Well, okay, but Melian, when you say attraction,
like an attraction could develop.
are attracted to the one single body part, which leads them that direction, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. Like guys don't really have a type. Like you may have a type that you like to date, but as far as the type you like to copulate, guys don't have a type. It's female. Period. That's it. Like
I mean,
again, look historically. When you look at to use some famous examples, President Clinton and Monica Lewinsky. No shade on Monica Lewinsky, but it's not like she was the hottest chick on the planet. She was there. She was there day in and day out. She was available and ready to go.
Who knows if there was like a attraction? Like you're right, they're available out of convenience, but there could be attraction. Somebody could be like, cook them dinner. Like dang, like
Arnold Schwarzenegger and the maid. You know what I mean? Like she low key kind of looked like a man. But again, she was there. Like no shade. I'm not. It's no shade.
Facts are facts.
You're saying that. I'm literally agreeing with you. I'm saying availability, but I'm also saying like an attraction can develop because you're always there for that person, or around that person. You're like actually attracted to that person.
See, but you're thinking like a woman. With men, attraction has nothing to do with it. With men, it is simply about the act. Like a man can act like literally
it's a body part.
Yeah, he could hate a woman's guts, think she is disgusting, but if she good to go, like, all right, cool. Like you have to remember, people like there are hookers on Skid Row. I have
literally heard so many men be like, "Oh, she's fine. Like I don't have to look at her face. Like bag over her face is fine." Like I've heard them say that. I'm like, really? It doesn't matter? Nope.
It's a pulse. She got a pulse. She got a pulse. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You thinking like a woman. Men like you because at our very most primal, like you know what I mean, we're hunters, right? And so it's just all about the prey. Like some prey is better than others. Like some look better than others. But hey, prey is still prey. Because like I said, you have to think there are hookers on Skid Row. Skid Row, which means there's someone who was like, all right, cool. Think about that.
Well, how you think us women can prevent something like this? Like we could be fine. We could look.
No, this is what women have to understand. I say this to my female friends and family all the time is that as a woman, you have to understand whatever issue is a man's is his issues alone. It's not yours. There's nothing you can do. You first of all, you have to know that you are more than enough. You are amazing. You are powerful. You are beautiful. You are all of that. Whatever issue is with this guy, and prayerfully you won't be with this guy, Melian, in the future, right? Because you're going to choose better. But here's what I'm saying. Whatever issue is with a guy ain't got nothing to do with you. It's his issue. You feel what I'm saying? It's like any issue I've ever had in my life had nothing to do with no one else. It was my issue and mine alone. And it's not until a man decides to deal with his own issues that there's no woman fine enough to change you. There's no like the whole like, oh, we had kids. That doesn't change you. It is literally you having a reckoning with yourself saying, I am not doing this any longer, period.
And I had
nothing. It has nothing to do with nobody else. Not baby, come back to me and I promise I'll change. It's if you never come back, I'm never going to exhibit this behavior again because this is not who I choose to be any longer. And I'm going to rectify those things in me that make me do that.
And I literally had to learn that the first time around. And I really thought it was just me. Something had to be wrong with me. And I learned after divorce, right? It's not. It's exactly what J-Love just said. They're going to do what they're going to do. That was really
deep, but I just said I should really take on the collection plate right now and take an offering right now. I see you in the back. I see you in the back. I see you. I believe there's about 10 people in here right now that could give $1,000.
Stop it.
Love is kind of scary, as you guys know, I've been single for a while. So like just that, I'm not married. Jay's married, Cherie getting there. Wink, wink. It's like
Jesus take the wheel.
Jesus take the wheel.
We will see what Jesus has. We don't get ahead of him. We don't fall behind him.
Even though you said it's for sure it's the man's problem, but like especially when you're married, like you guys are one, like it kind of becomes your problem. Especially if he does actually cheat on you, it's like now you're like your emotions and everything is invested. It's like it's kind of basically become your problem. But I see what you mean. Like men can only fix that.
I'll even go deep on you with that one. No, you look. I'm gonna get real deep on you. We're gonna go to church for real. You got to release that. You can't take that burden on yourself. It's not a burden for you to carry. You have to be able to say, you know what, I let go of this one because it's not mine. That's above my pay grade.
Of course, it's easier said than done, right? Like we can say it, but like we experience it when we're experiencing it and feeling it. Like, man, like,
well, because the first thing women want to do is they want to understand why. Why her? Why did you? And to be honest with you, when it comes to men, there ain't no rhyme and reason. Like it's. Because like from the time, like, especially if you've ever had to deal with little boys, when you ask a little boy, why did you do that? And you notice you're a mom, Cherie, right? What do little boys say? Like, little boys, like there's no rhyme or reason for what. You froze a little bit, Cherie. I'm gonna wait till you get out of that state. But like, there you go. You know what I mean? Like, but am I right with boys? Like, why do you keep doing that? I don't know.
No, but like, why? No, but like, what was your thought process? There was not what, like, literally, I'm all, what do you think about in there? Trees growing? Like, what do you mean? But yeah, he's right. You know,
but women want to, because women are more methodical. Women
sure are.
Women understand the why, when, where, what, all of that, you know, the exact moment, the minute, the second, the hour. Like boys are like, you know, when did you meet that girl? Like on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, like, you know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying. Women, and I get it, because that goes back to other conversations we had in terms of like men and women are different. We're wired differently. You know what I mean? And so,
which I just saw. Did you guys see that college dude? I don't. He joined the community college, and he was like 6'8".
The basketball player. Yes, he's 52 years old.
Oh my God! I finally saw a picture of him. He was so scary looking.
So let me get the correct terminology. A trans woman, meaning a man that becomes a woman. So is a trans woman. At 52 years old, joined a community college.
Sure, you have to see a picture of him. Oh my God!
It's like 6'4", 240 pounds, and joined the basketball team because he was still eligible, right? And is smashing all these little girls because, you know, they're all like 18, 19, 20 years old, and he's just up there.
That's the article you sent me. But everybody was so supportive. Everybody, unless they're not talking about the naysayers, but
man, it just looked wrong to me. It just looked wrong.
He was just, and you know, so my thing, you know, and it's just funny. We were talking about that and just saying how like he couldn't do that on a men's team. There's no way at that age he's competing with 19-year-old boys. But at that age, out of shape and everything, he's murdering the girls. Right, because he's just so physically dominant and bigger, you know. I don't know. I'm blaming Millie on how we got off on that tangent. I'm blaming her. But speaking of getting punched in the face, the next story I wanted to hear real quick, because our hours always go by so quick, is shout out to I'm gonna call him B Money, right? The gangster formerly known as Barack Obama. A story just recently came out that when he was in grade school, he broke one of his fellow students' nose for calling him a racial slur. I didn't know Barack had it in him to be that gangster. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why this story excited me, but it excited me that Barack had it in him. Because you know how hard you got to hit somebody to break their nose? Like that's
how come that seems like easy? I mean, I've never hit anybody's nose, but I feel like the nose is such a fragile, but I have heard it's hard to break a nose when you hit them.
No, it's hard to break a nose. And that's a good, like, that's accuracy. There's a lot. That's some coordination. Shout out to Barry. Barry doing it, man. Like, I mean, first of all, the fact that he didn't have to admit this at this point in his life, like, you know what I mean? But he just, I don't know, he got some extra points with me, man. He got some extra points.
Okay, but he admitted it because he knew he was going to get extra points for people across the world because of that. So you are proof of that. So it's not that he didn't have to admit it. Of course he didn't have to. I could see why he wanted to.
Well, I mean, because come on, that's super gangster. He punched the kid and called him the, I mean, because, you know, called him the racial slur, you know. And so I don't know. Shout out to Barack. I just wanted to throw that in there for free. Let me go to the next story that we talking about in the news. I got to ask you this again as women. I'm asking you this as women. When you get to a certain point in your life, I understand the notion of being ride or die when you're young. I understand that notion, right? When you 18, the dude made a mistake, be ride or die. But I just think at a certain age, like just certain things got to change in your life, right? Well, Real Housewife of Atlanta star Sheree Whitfield. I don't know how many of you ladies watch the Real Housewives, but it doesn't matter. You get the premise even if you don't watch the show. But basically, Sheree got some money. She got Chateau Sheree, her name is Sheree Whitfield, but she got Chateau Sheree. She got this big palatial situation in Atlanta. She got, she doing it. But she ignited with her ex after he just got out of prison. Now, again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I feel differently if I ever end up in prison, which I don't plan to do. You know what I mean? Maybe I want somebody to wait around for me. But how do y'all feel about being, I'm going to be generous with her. I'm going to be generous. In your 40-ish, I'm being generous, 40-ish. How do you feel about that? Like, what do you think? Like,
well, what's the backstory? How long were they together? What did he go in for? Like, what's all of that? Like, how long was he in there for? I need more.
Okay, so he was in. Okay, well, first of all, so Tyrone was sentenced to 10 years. In 2013, right?
Okay.
And so
it's been about 8, right? So he got out early.
And so they had kind of reconnected like a few years ago. They reconnected a few years ago, I guess, around her birthday in 2016, and decided to start dating again, which apparently means communicating as much as possible when she visited the prison. Right. Okay. Here's my thing.
I don't know why you're laughing. That's probably a little more communication than some couples have outside of jail.
Right. And so he thought he was going to get out in 2018, but he lost his appeal. So they stopped dating. To me, stop dating just means she don't come to the prison no more. I don't know.
She stopped writing him, picking up his phone.
Right. But now Sheree's single because I guess she started dating somebody. No, you can't get conjugals if you're not married. And in a lot of prisons, they don't even exist anymore. So I guess
she for sure was seeing someone else. Okay, so yes, finish your sentence.
I guess he was dating somebody else, but now that she's single again, he scored an early release due to COVID spreading in the prison. And he said the time was right to rekindle the old flame. And he says he can see them getting married down the line, but he has no plans to pop the question just as of yet. First of all, I don't think he has the right to be that arrogant. Like, I don't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
first of all, right.
I'm just saying, because if she's not a millionaire, she's definitely a thousandaire, right? Like high 6 figures. If she's not.
Wait, so how long were they together before he got locked up?
Nah, it doesn't really say, but they were just, it's not like they were like engaged or nothing like that. It was just someone, she hooked up with, and maybe it's a little bit more serious than just hooking, but they weren't engaged or anything. That wasn't a serious relationship. Good. So that being said, you know what I mean? Like, I know you're free to love whoever you want. I'm all for, free love, all that good stuff. Right. And so, but I'm just saying, Sheree, you're successful. Melian, you're successful, especially as you get older. Like, as I'm gonna just say, as your brother, if you tell me like, yo, my boo about to get out, I'll be like, get out of what? Like, out of work?
Out of his gated community. It's just a gated community.
Gated community. Hey, my baby got bars.
It's a high security gated community. Okay,
you'll be like, your baby a rapper? No, he got bars. Like, he got sentences. So you're asking us, Jay, if like what's your question? Like,
I guess my question is just this, and then we'll wrap it up because this hour went by super fast, and we'll follow up on this stuff later. But my question is this: like, I guess I'm just gonna ask you: are you good with it? I just need to know: are you gonna date somebody in prison? That's what I need to know.
As far as me, like I said, it would depend, like how much.
No,
how long?
We said no. Right now, no. We're saying no. We're setting standards.
The answer is always no.
We're setting standards.
I just at least like, go ahead.
You don't look. It'd be different if you had a baby daddy.
No, at least I know he ain't gonna cheat on me. Willingly. Like,
you know what I mean? He already cheated on you with the opposite sex. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, I don't know what we're talking about, y'all. Thank you for listening to our foolishness. This is the Revolution Radio Show on 102.3 FM. We'll see you on Monday. Have an amazing weekend. We'll see y'all later. This is absolutely insane. I can't believe that we're talking about this stuff.
Oh my.